And well, they're definitely getting a helping hand here from a current player on their team, that being Austin Reaves. A guy that many Laker fans seem to want to trade away or are not happy with, but he definitely is helping out the team nonetheless and kind of going on a recruiting mission at the moment. If you haven't seen yet, he was caught working out with two current free agents, one of which being Jake Laravia, a player that was traded to the Sacramento Kings from the Memphis Grizzlies, and then restricted free agent Day'Ron Sharpe, a guy we've talked about here on the channel and a potential good backup center or potentially starting center for a team like the Lakers if they could get him. And like I said, Austin Reaves has been working out with and even hanging out with both Jake Laravia and Day'Ron Sharpe. And well, the common connection between them is the fact that they share the same agent, that being Aaron Riley of AMR Agency, the common agent by both Austin Reaves, Jake Laravia, and Day'Ron Sharpe, who again do happen to be free agents in regard to Laravia and Sharpe. So those three working out together in the midst of both Laravia and Sharpe entering free agency might be very telling of where they want to go or where their agent might want them to go, with the player they're currently working out with and on the team that player is currently on, that being Austin Reaves and the LA Lakers. Not a center, but is a pretty big forward, having measurements of 6'8", weighing roughly 235 pounds and having roughly a 7-foot wingspan. I liked him coming out of the NBA draft back in 2022, having been a 3-year college player coming out of Wake Forest, showing some good 3-and-D potential, and he finally showed that during his 3rd year in the NBA. Up until this point, hadn't been very healthy, only playing a total of 70 games in his first 2 NBA seasons, but then came around to play 66 during the last NBA season, which again was a career high for him. And per defensive box plus minus rating, he did rank positively, having a plus 1.1 rating last season, pointing to him showing defensive improvement and a whole lot more defensive commitment, overall having a plus 0.8 value over replacement rating, a pretty good rating for a backup player and a rotation player in general, not simply being affected by the team you play with or overall production, actually pointing to being a good value player, playing above his contract salary, and that's another thing to point to here as well. What might that or what will that contract salary look going forward? What will he be offered, and do the Lakers have the ability to offer it to him? Well, that's definitely up for debate here, with him being 23, but also having an injury history and kind of some up and down inconsistent performance. It definitely is tough to project. I wouldn't be shocked to see him get roughly 8 to 10 million per year, but then all the way down to maybe 4 to 7 million per year. And depending on what he gets offered, the Lakers might be in that price range. Again, with their taxpayer mid-level exception, being able to offer him roughly 5.7 million next season, up to a 2-year contract worth 12 million. I'm not sure that would be enough to get him, but if he is looking to take more of a prove-it deal and go to a team that he simply wants to play with and might have a decent role to offer him, that might be the intrigue here with the LA Lakers. And if they would trade Rui Hachimura, would trade a bigger wing player on their team in general, maybe Jared Vanderbilt, maybe unfortunately if they don't get Dorian Finney-Smith back, whatever it might be, then Laravia might be an option. And obviously he is friends with Austin Reaves, not only shooting around with him, but simply driving around and golfing with him too. They definitely appear to have some kind of friendship, and I imagine that probably would help him want to play with the Lakers and be a bit more willing to take their contract over a different team's contract offer if they would be fairly similar. However, while I definitely do like Jake Laravia and what he is projected to be as an NBA player, again definitely showing 3-and-D ability and 3-and-D potential, not only with the defense last season, but then shooting a career high 42.3% from the 3-point line, roughly 2.2 attempts per game in 20 minutes per game, translating to roughly 4 attempts per 36 minutes, so not incredibly high volume but very efficient nonetheless, and being a big versatile defender, that could definitely be a good advantage to have on your team and a good player to have coming off your bench. But like I said, kind of coming down to the contract offer, and that being their only contract above a veteran minimum that they have available to offer. So if he would want to take it, should they offer it to him or a different backup center, and that kind of being the bigger position of need for them? Would you rather have Jake Laravia or potentially a guy like Brook Lopez, Clint Capella, or some other veteran free agent center on the open market? That's kind of what it comes down to here. And well, for me personally, it definitely comes down to if they make a trade for a center or not prior to free agency. I mean, if they do, then I definitely would offer that to Jake Laravia. You're not going to get a more productive, younger option for that price than Jake Laravia or potentially Day'Ron Sharpe. especially for a 2-year contract that's not going to happen anywhere else. So if you would take that, then offer it to him if they can make a trade for a center first. Whether that be Walker Kessler, Nick Claxton, Daniel Gafford, whatever it might be, if they can get that starting caliber center first, then I would think about it with Jake Laravia. But if they can't, then I definitely would be a bit hesitant to do it. If they can't find a center first via trade, then I think you kind of gotta offer it to a free agent center. Whether again that be Lopez, Capella, Horford, whatever veteran option would be on the open market and kind of relative to that contract, I think you probably have to go that route, unfortunately. Again, definitely like Jake Laravia, but with how badly the Lakers need a center, both a starting center and even a backup center at this point, it definitely is their biggest need by far. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.